We got Sterling Hinton in to talk about Arkansas. So I guess you could say we're casting pearl before swine. And Chuck Cavaleris is with us right there. All right. We got a poll question today. Let's go ahead and put this up. And I shouldn't have put coaching on there, but I did. So I want to see what's second. It looks like offensive tackles. The question today is what's the problem with Tennessee's offense? The problem with Tennessee's offense starts with, is actually how I worded it. Your options, the quarterback, the offensive tackles, the receivers, the coaches. Right now the coaches are winning. Offensive tackles second, then receivers, then quarterbacks. That's the straight opposite of Twitter. Do me a favor, get your smartphone, click that QR code underneath the Hearthside Bank logo. Always in reach. We appreciate them bringing you this poll. Click that and play along with us. Tell us where you put the blame. Coaches, receivers, tackles, quarterbacks. And if you don't do the QR code thing, you can go to sportsource.tv and /polls and play it that way. Thank you very much. I always like seeing how you tell us what goes on there. I'm going to start. We got best player on the field. Can be from either team. Tyler, you're the new one on this panel. I'll let you start. Who was the best player on the field last night?
It was obviously one certain edge rusher for Arkansas who decided when they would move him off of what it was an okay performance against Lance Hurd, but whenever you have, I believe it was Johnson last night, Jackson, maybe
Lance
I missed
Jackson,
Lance Jackson, thank you.
Yeah.
Lance Jackson,
right.
when he got lined up with John Campbell Jr., it became an absolute just murder, just a Halloween show, if you will. John Campbell Jr. has got some concerns. I know we can talk more whenever Mike Stoll's here about offensive linemen, but last night he was in the backfield all night. If you want to know, and the poll question reflects on how the tackles played last night, it takes one bad man to get inside the head of somebody, and that's how a game plays for the entirety. Go back and watch in the second half when he got shifted from one side of the offensive line to the other. It got bad more and more as the game went, and John Campbell Jr. was beat from the second the ball was snapped.
Well, can we go with more? What I think is the obvious, Dylan Sampson.
That's where I'm at.
I mean, and it seems like it's been the case every week. 22 carries, 120 yards, 140 yards. He had the breakaway run.
138, I think, yeah. Had the 50-yarder.
Yeah. So, I mean, and that's the
behind.
one you can count on,
Right.
it seems like every week. But it's like you run him, you run him, you run him, you run him. It's not there, it's not there, it's not there, and then he breaks one.
Yeah.
You better hope nothing happens to him because he's your offense right now.
Yeah.
That's the thing. You go with Sampson
I'm
as
going
well?
with Dylan Sampson. I mean, and what I liked about what he did, I know there's been some problems inside blitz pickup, but he had a couple of great blitz pickup linebacker shoots doing things that won't be in his stat sheet that I thought were awesome while he was playing. So, yes, Dylan Sampson, he's complete out there.
I was very much surprised to see him get caught from behind. I don't think that happens a couple of years ago, but this offseason he did put on weight. He did bulk himself up, I think, to be able to be more of a workhorse back. And I wonder if that impacted the speed a little bit because I don't think they catch him 2 years ago.
Well, the DB did have an angle on him.
He had an angle on him, but I don't know that anybody catches him a couple years ago.
The DB has a name.
Yeah,
Anyway. That's where I was going to say, best player on the field? Nico Slaughter.
Yeah.
I don't know that he's the best player, but he does deserve
played
mention
well.
because he played well.
Absolutely.
His name was called again and again and again.
Absolutely.
He had a good game last night. All right. Worst decision. I have a feeling this could be really late in the game, like last play of the game. Worst decision.
Throw it.
The decision not to throw the ball.
Yeah. But a part of it is you're in that situation anyway, and you're going to say it's a redshirt freshman making his sixth start, but
Sounds
it
like you're
brought
saying
up
that.
all of the Joe Milton references, right? And I got to where I just didn't even respond to them. Because, I mean, you shouldn't even be in that situation, but even if your best hope is to get a pass interference, you still have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
But there's nobody open. He said there's nobody open. Well, they're not going to be open.
He said after the game the ball was also slipping out of his hand when he was trying to. Didn't look like it was slipping out of his hand in the video I saw, but maybe it was.
What I was hoping is that maybe Nico was also looking in the end zone and the clock was right there and he thought he can get out of bounds with 1 second left. That's what I was hoping. That's what I was hoping.
That's
one that has history. That's the bad thing. You've seen that here at Tennessee before. It's the Joe Milton play. If Peyton Manning had done that at one point, nobody's going nuts. They're like, it's kind of like Peyton Manning. It was Joe Milton that did it, so it's like, this guy's Joe Milton 2.0. Your thoughts on not throwing it out, not throwing it into the end zone?
It reminded me of the Ole Miss game where post-game after it was over and you got Kiffin inside the locker room, mustard and trash cans. sitting in the media scrum and me being the person that has to go, hey, Josh, do you want Joe to put that ball in the end zone against Ole Miss? That day, Coach Heupel and I got about 5 seconds of death stares with each other until finally, I'd like to see that ball in the end zone. I have to imagine if Josh was asked that similar question last night. Fayetteville,
well, they did. They asked. I watched the post game, and he did come up. But I guess I will say this: at some point, you did have a timeout before that. Now, should you ever have to tell your quarterback, "Hey, this is the last play.
Right.
You need to throw
Right.
it"? You probably shouldn't have to.
Right.
But if I'm Josh Heupel, having had this happen to me twice now, I think the next time I'm in that situation, I do remind my quarterback, get rid of the ball.
Yeah.
Well, and did we have one timeout left in that
No, they
situation?
used
they
it before
used
that.
it.
Okay.
They used
What
it
was
before
6
that.
seconds
Which-
left? Yeah.
Which also, that's another questionable decision. When Nico had to scramble on that first down play, and it's about 1:03, 1:04 left.
Yes.
And they have timeouts. They got 2 timeouts
Right.
left, and they decide to let the clock run.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, you're saving a timeout, but you blew off 17 or 18
Yeah, I was
seconds
thinking
there.
20 seconds then.
Yeah, I think I'd rather have the time, and I would have used the timeout there, I think.
So, especially in a situation where you were playing to the strengths of not having Taylor Green in the game for Arkansas. I can understand if you're trying to eat the clock and then all of a sudden you score the go-ahead touchdown, you give Arkansas a chance to come back and win the game or tie the game with a field goal, but you don't have Taylor Green running the offense. Then you have a backup running the offense, so it was really peculiar on how the time management was handled late.
Very quickly, we got like 30 seconds total. Biggest disappointment, Sterling. Biggest disappointment from last night's game.
The loss, man. It
No,
was
no,
Black
you got to
Saturday.
go specific. What was
Black Saturday.
what position was most disappointing to you?
Well, when they showed the end zone copy on TV, that's when I was able to watch it. I didn't see many receivers breaking open, and that's where I was concerned. And they ran a combination cover robber in the secondary, and I think we have answers for that. And so that's where I thought maybe more receivers could have come open, and maybe even a couple more quick screen passes.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah. And I've said that every year, I think.
The problem is you're keeping running backs in to block. You're keeping tight ends in to block. Because I was sitting there last night thinking, why aren't you more creative? Hard to be creative when you're having to keep everybody in to block.
Yeah.
So there is that. I had receivers, but for this reason. One, and you kind of hit on it. The other thing, they kept showing Arkansas guys open. Well, if Green had seen this guy, that game wasn't as close. If Green hits 2 guys he had open with better throws, he missed one completely on the blitz. Early the first drive, if he hits the guy in stride on time, it's a touchdown. But they kept showing that. I don't remember them ever showing guys running open for Tennessee.
No.
I don't remember
No.
that. So to me, it's the receivers not coming open against what was coming in, the 14th ranked pass defense in the SEC. You went against a terrible secondary and didn't do anything.
Back-to-back games, no explosive plays. Nobody from the wide receivers is standing out, and this was supposed to be the coming out party. This is supposed to be, can we get cookies? Can we see a big playmaker? You got nobody ranked to the top 15 in receiving yards.
You got
This was
some guys
supposed to be
nicked
it.
too at the beginning.
Yeah, you got them nicked during the game. You had 3 receivers.
Kind of
hurt.
late, though.
Yeah.
I mean, Brew and Squirrel
And
White.
can I give one more big disappointment?
Very quickly.
I thought Tennessee would make better use of the open date. I really did. I thought instead of going there and almost taking it for granted, you're going to win this game.
Yeah.
I thought Tennessee was going to make much better use of that open date.
All right, when we come back, Heupel's play calling, and it was all over the place yesterday. We've kind of touched on this. We're going to hit on it with both feet next. He looks like he's lost confidence in something in that offense. What is the something? Offensive line. We'll see. Come on back. We'll discuss.